Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for a match of the Singapore Sevens. This one, Argentina taking on the South Africans. Now, South Africa, they were beaten badly in their first contest up against Team GB, and that's kind of set them up for failure in this competition. Let's be honest, it's a shortened format. If you lose a game, it's really hard to come back from it, but the only way that it benefits the South Africans is that if they beat Argentina comfortably here, then maybe points differential-wise, they can get themselves back through. But it is going to be tough. This Pumas side, of course, on a massive winning streak. They are the defending champs, or at least the most recent champions of the Seven Circuit. So we will have to wait and see what it does bring. But looking through at the starting lineups, first of all, for the Argentines, Santiago Mari, Luciano Gonzalez, Jermaine Schultz, Marcos Maneta, Joaquim Palandini, Matthias Azutsuk, and Santiago Alvarez. You pretty much have to go with your strongest lineup right from the word go here, because if you don't, if you lose a game, you're just gone, unfortunately, just with the way the competition is. Ryan Oosthuizen, Tristan Lades, Siviwe Soyers Wapi, Shilton van Wyk, Selvin Davids, Zane Davids, and Impi Visa as the starting lineup for the Blitzboks. They haven't got Sebastian Job as he got himself red carded in the last contest. And that game between GB and South Africa, it was a bit of a weird one, to be honest. Like, there were a lot of moments that seemed like, you know, people were going to get put on a stretcher, and then they were. We had two guys carted off throughout that game, huge amount of physicality. But we'll see how this one goes. Argentina, this will be their first match of the Singapore Sevens, which means that maybe rust could be a thing. I know it's only been a week since they last played, but we saw between Kenya and France, it was actually very beneficial for them to have a match under their belt. Tensions may flare, says Danielle. I think that they will. There'll be a lot of frustration out there for the South Africans, knowing that that first game slipped through their fingertips and that now they're in a position where all they can really do is try and stop Argentina from making it, but then in doing so, it would mean that Great Britain get to. And Pumas Argentina, says Fleshing in there, by the looks of it, Uruguay are about to beat Australia by quite a substantial margin too, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of this group will face the winner of New Zealand, Fiji, and USA's group. So it's going to be a tough one. And so good loss, Pumas, says Danielle. I should also mention that Spain, they are in a position where if they beat the Australians, they will go through to the next stage. But at the moment, it seems like Group C is actually the most challenging to know who's going to make their way through. And then the game straight after this game between South Africa and the Argentines, we will be covering Fiji versus USA. The USA already have one loss under their belt, so if Fiji win that match between New Zealand and Fiji will determine who else makes their way through to the semis. It is only the top team of each group of the four that go through. So everything on the line, every single game. And then whoever's in the second, of course, playing off for the 5th to 8th spot. And that's where South Africa really do need a win here, because or else they'll be playing off for a maximum of 4 points. That would put them up to 70, and then that gap between them and the rest of the field would just start to get that little bit bigger. Australia losing to Uruguay, another upset, definitely. And in Uruguay, the thing is, though, they haven't looked like the underdogs in their game. Like, they've been going very well, extremely clinical all throughout that matchup. Like, 28 points to 5 is not even close. And the Australians, I believe, they scored first in this one. They've just done a cross kick that almost paid off. Now, off the benches in this contest for the Argentines, they have got Fraha, Graziano, Tobias Wade, just to name a few. For the South Africans, they've got Ricardo James Duarte, DeWald Human, Xander Reinders. He was a man who actually started the last match, but they've decided to go with Visa and Davids here just to try and, I don't know whether it's to bulk them up, but more so give a bit more experience to those guys, or have the more experienced guys, I should say. Only 10 seconds remaining in this Uruguay versus Australia match. I got South Africa here, says Spider-Mech. Beating Australia as an astronomical ask for Spain, says Spider-Mech. It certainly is, but I would say that the points differential that have been created here might be just about enough to help Spain go through. And that's the thing, Australia could still beat Spain by quite a margin, and then they might have the opportunity to make their way through. Go the box, says Annalise. in there as well. Do let me know your score predictions for this match, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, back-to-back games. First, South Africa versus Argentina. And then that is going to be followed by USA versus Fiji. I'd laugh if Spain beats them. That's the thing, like Spain are one of those teams, they can either lose by 20 or win by 20. They seem to be either switched on or off, and that's a little bit similar to this Australian side. Like, it wasn't that long ago, the group stage match took place up against South Africa in Hong Kong, and they looked unbeatable, the Aussies, and now they've been beaten badly. But in that group at the moment, Spain still sit at the top of the bunch, but they've played all their games, at least for Uruguay in that case. There's a little bit of tension going into that last contest, but this one, of course, will be Argentina's first game. If they were to win this game, then that match between Argentina and Great Britain become all that more important, because whoever wins that qualifies for the semi-finals. First-ranked Argentina, fourth-ranked South Africa normally would set up for an extremely entertaining matchup, and I don't think this one will be any different as the two sides now make their way onto the field. Are now ready to go for another match. South Africa to win by 17. Oh, okay. So you're saying they're coming out firing. After losing to GB, they're just going to go to another level, which perhaps is where they wanted to go in the next one. The red card issuing is becoming ridiculous, says Frederic Botha. I assume you're talking about that first match between South Africa and GB. We actually saw 2 red cards throughout that game, didn't we? One for GB, one for South Africa, which means that Sebastian Job is not playing in this contest. Argentine by 10, says Blues Nate. Marcos Mineta, anytime he's on the field, he is a danger to the opposition. Luciano Gonzalez, his power is almost unmatched. And the referee in charge of this one, it will be Peter Martin. 22nd match, in fact it is, for that man. But Selvin Davids, he will be kicking this one off from right to left. The Pumas, they are soon to get their first touch of the ball in Singapore. I'm excited for this game. I just don't know how it's going to go. It's whether or not South Africa have come to play, or whether Argentina are just going to be as dominant as they have been as of late. It's kicked up high. Shilton Van Wyk. In fact, that time it was actually Tristan Lades who went up and managed to keep the ball for half a second for the South Africans before it bounced into the hands of Argentina. Already a steal in the breakdown from the Blitzboks. Selvin Davids trying to find his way through, but it's a good low tackle made on him. Impi Visa going back across to Safiwe Soyas Wapi. Shilton Van Wyk doesn't get that ball as of yet, but he's about to get it. They're going out to his wing. In the middle of the park here, nice goosey from Shilton Van Wyk goes off to Selvin Davids, who somehow he does go into touch. Gonzalez is a beast, says Danielle, and South Africa will be coming out fired up. Says Matthew and come on the block, and Marcos Mineta makes me think of the gentleman business, says Sebastian. Argentina enter this event on a 16-game winning streak, dating back to their final pool match in Perth. So it just shows you how long the Argentines have been winning for. They've beaten some brilliant sides throughout that time, South Africa being one of them. That's a short ball, close to forward by Luciano Gonzalez. Getting held up here by Impi Visa, who slams him to the ground, but the ball comes out the back. Jermaine Schultz with a pass over the top to Palandini. Now Alvarez changing direction and slammed down Ryan Oosthuizen, almost had the ball there for South Africa again. Now Argentina with Luciano Gonzalez running it towards the sideline. Now moving through. That's about the 4th missed tackle from Selvin Davids in this competition. It is unheard of for that man to miss normally 1 or 2. But he's missed another, and it's meant that Gonzalez has gone straight through and scored the try. We're going to see it here. Normally he's the last-ditch tackle that no one gets through. Hit on the wrong side from Davids, completely misreads it, and Gonzalez reaps the rewards early for Los Pumas. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think even Prez will save the blitz, says Cristo. And another fabulous commentary, says Ruth. Now Argentina with the kick to come for Palandini. And he does get that kick over, which will now make the score after 2.5 minutes, 7-0 for Argentina. It's going to be kicked off High from Argentina. Nicely taken by Zane Davids. Goes across to Selvin Davids. Still inside of their own 22, but a pace shown by Shilton Van Veek. Ball on the inside to Ryan Oosterhuis, and brilliant stepping from the number 2, but he's dragged down 30 metres out after Manetta managed to make the tackle, but the box on hot attack. The Pumas defence scrambling. Here comes Selvin Davids. Passes to Zane Davids, who scores it in the corner. And South Africa, I believe, have got back into this one. They just want to cheat this to make sure that he wasn't in touch. If he is, that was a brilliant last-ditch effort from Luciano Gonzalez. The Blitzboks are rubbish. Now, I told you, Hamish, last week, says Thabiso. Lads, do you hate Sia Khaleesi? Says Sean. Is that like to the whole chat or to me? Oh, this angle is a little bit too zoomed in, so it's going to be hard to tell if that foot was out. Oh, it's almost simultaneous for that try of Zane Davids. And the verdict is, I think he might be in touch, but I don't think we've got a camera angle that's actually going to show it. So I think it will be allowed as a try. And Vamos Amigos says Roof there. They're going to award the try. Like I said, no angle showing it on the far side. We've got 15 cameras all filming the game, but none of them caught that one. And Zane Davids will be very happy about it. 5 points to 7 now. Still in favour of the Argentines. Chance from the sidelines to line up this kick. Plenty of height, distance, not too bad, and it does go over. Massive kick from Selvin Davids from the sideline. But now we are ready for yet again another restart. Referee pointing to something. Might be another ball on the field. 15 cameras, says Danielle. And 4-7 Landers 3. Yeah, because he stole McCaw's record, says Sean. I'm not even sure which record you're talking about. I think that Sia Khaleesi, a lot of people do respect that man for what he's been able to do. Might even be in action for the Sharks tomorrow up against Leon. But now nice run forward from Marcos Manetta. Going sideways, 40 metres out. Another offload to Luciano Gonzalez. Zane Davids gets bumped off. That's a good run forward. Almost stolen for Zane Davids. He has his hands on the ball, but the ref says, no, you can't have it. And off his feet for Davids. Most World Cups held by captain in rugby, says Sean. So that's the reason you dislike him, I assume, Sean? Let's go to our Africa, says Matthew. Game on 7-7. And of course, still a go. Says Roof there. Looks like we've got a little bit of a timeout here. Currently 2 minutes 30 remaining in this first half. Gonzalez just getting a little bit of medical attention. What about you? I don't mind Sia Khaleesi. In fact, I think he's a great skipper for the Boks. No one touches Richie McCaw. Says Danielle, Argentina have scored the most tries of any team this season with 111. 49% have originated from the set-piece position. Is the stat that's just popped up on the screen that we have rapidly fired off. Now, Palandini going off to this right-hand side. I expect to see Khaleesi. He's an awesome player and a very humble off the field. Says Matthew. And that's going to be another penalty. Khaleesi not playing tomorrow. Sharks expect a very young side. Okay, so they're focused on the URC, I think, is the best way of describing that then. Like, we were going to be covering that game. We probably still will. But, you know, Leon might eat them alive if they're not careful, if it's just a young team. Just popped in to say hi, Hamish. Not a Sevens fan at all, says Albert. Well, we do appreciate you popping in, though. Albert, our HM core is a better seven than Cristiano Ronaldo. That's a fact, says Sebastian. Now, Selvin Davids throws this ball in. 7, a common number in this matchup. 7 scored by both of these sides. And now going across to the right-hand side. Savue Sawyers Wapi with a nice step inwards. Tristan Lades goes across to Ryan Oosterhuis and finds Davids, who's now looking to lure in the defence. Puts MP Visa through a gap. Brilliant pickup from Zane Davids. Bit of a counter-ruck coming from Jermaine Schultz. The ball is still there and still will be used by Ryan Oosterhuis. Tristan Lades. Wide cut-out pass goes to Savue. Sawyers Wapi and Gonzalez will not catch him. The Blitzboks will take the lead here with a minute to go. I know the other cards for the whole game this time for the Boks. says Xander. But Saviwe Sawyer's Wapi is fifth to the circuit. He's been a little bit quiet in some regards, but hasn't had a huge amount of game time. They have been giving those younger players the opportunity. And then Saviwe Sawyer's Wapi does score the try. That's the thing. Even if Argentina are defeated here, right? They need to be within 7. Brilliant kick again. Does go over, makes the score 14 points to 7. But if they're within 7, they get the bonus point. Then they just have to beat GB, and theoretically, their points differential, as well as the points from that, would carry them through to the next stage. But Argentina, like we mentioned, on a 16-match winning streak, they don't want that to come to an end. And now running down the wing, Luciano Gonzalez. In fact, this time it's going to be the man in the number 7 jersey, and he scores it as well. To Bias Wade. They might just check this one. He's saying, give me the ball, I want to take the kick. They are going upstairs with the TMO. And let's go the Landers. They are checking this one to see whether or not it is a legal grounding. Yep, that's a brilliant try scored by Tobias Wade right at the end of the half. Landers 17-7, Force after 20 minutes. We have an arm wrestle between the Force and the Highlanders. Shame you aren't covering it. As just looking at Forever Sports, just a digital fill with a moving dot, says Jason Hamilton. And another one says Danielle in there too. That's beautifully done by Tobias Wade. Finished it right on the cusp of being dead. Now a chance to make this one back to a draw. As Speedy Gonzalez says Shane. Palandini misses away to the side, just slightly pulled it, so that will make the score at halftime 12 points to 14. The Blitzboks are leading. But is that the way that it's going to stay? They need this victory to help confirm their spot in the top 8. And maybe even confirm their spot in the semi-finals. The thing is, if they were to lose this game to Argentina, they will be last in their group. And they will be playing off for a total of 4 points, which won't really gain them too much ground at all. But the thing is, if they manage to get in that top 8, there is a chance of anywhere between, I believe, 10 and 6 points or somewhere around there, which can be much more viable towards the playoff matches. We are getting closer and closer to the end of the Sevens circuit. We have only got the LA Sevens, which is going to be taking place, I believe, early May, if I'm not wrong. 3rd and 4th of May for us here in New Zealand. We'll, of course, be covering that one on the channel as well. And Gonzalez, the speedster, another try, says Ruth. Yeah, the next game that we are going to be doing on the channel will be USA versus Fiji, which will have its fair share of speedsters. Perry Baker, for one, if there's too many more injuries for the US, he will make the comeback. The Blitzboks need a complete rebuild. They are very disappointed, tired of these inconsistent old guys, says Tabiso. And there as well. I think one of their biggest problems, though, is they bring in those young guys every once in a while. And sadly, with the exception of a couple, they don't really perform to the level that they want them to. And maybe that's just because they aren't in the environment for long enough. But yeah, I think it's a little bit more complex for the Blitzboks than just chuck out the old players and put the new ones in. Unless, like, that's the thing. They could do that, but the Blitzboks and the supporters would have to be willing to lose a few legs in a row for a start. And as you know, the criticism comes in as soon as you lose one. So, like, it's one of those ones they might need the overhaul, but they don't want to turn everyone against them, coach included. If he makes the change to put all the young guys in and they lose and he gets sacked, then he's ruined it for himself. Nice ball, Selvin Davids off to Tristan Lades. And they will move up now to only about 45 metres out from the line. When will the All Blacks look like the Harlem Globetrotters again this year? They've been sad. Loose ball picked up now by Argentina. Luciano, in fact, no, Marcos Maneta offloads it up to Matthias Azudsuk. Gonna be a foot race, but he will win it. He's almost at high from Ryan Oosterhuizen as well. If Gonzalez keeps speeding like that, Cots will pull him over and give him a speeding fine. And Vamos, Argentina, says Augustine. So they have managed to take the lead at the start of the second half. Just the pass to Impivisa. A bit of a hospital pass, really. He was already getting hit. And Maneta says Roof. It was a great last-ditch effort from, I believe it was Ricardo James Duarte. In fact, that might have been David Britz, in fact, who made the tackle on him. Boom, another try, says Roof. Kick is missed, though. That'll mean that the score is only separated by the 3 points here. Matthias Azutsuk is now up to 128 tries in total. My granny can scrum through lades, says EE. Now time is back on. Still 5.5 minutes remaining in this fixture. Nothing can be better, says Ruth. I just said losing the final 3 times in Singapore. Thanks for your commentary, Amish, says Russell. No worries at all. We have got plenty more coming today, including some Champions Cup later on. I haven't scheduled it just yet, but we will be doing more than likely Leinster versus Harlequins. Brilliant aerial play. Quick side step, and that's going to be nicely passed across to Ryan Oosterhuizen. Schutten van Wyk goes to Selvin Davids. Nice shifting of the ball here from the Blitzboks on the inside. Good run forward from David Britz. Just loses his footing. The hands were down from Azutsuk, so I don't believe he would have had that penalty in his favour. Saviwe Sawyers Wapi passes one more out to Schutten van Wyk. Can't get through the tackle attempt. Ball pops out the side. It was close to a knock on. Now kick downfield. No. Knocked on by the Pumas. Argentina going to win this one, says the Beso. 17-7 up. Let's go, says Highlanders. Hamish, what's the plan? Aussie, Spanish. Yeah, both of those sides, whoever win, well, mainly Spain. If they win that game, they're through to the next stage. They'll be taking on Kenya in the playoff match. Islanders by 13 plus, says Jason. Looks like there's a bit of an injury here for Saviwe Sawyers Wapi as well, which does bring the opportunity for both sides to make a couple more changes. You're a beast, Hamish. I don't know if, how you do it. I don't forget your waters, bro, says Shane. So we have got it down by our side. We've only got one more coming up soon here between Fiji and USA, and then from there we've got about a 2.5 hour break or somewhere around there, I believe. Marcos Maneta series tries. He's sitting in second. Georgie Nasova is sitting in first on 21. Patrick Odongo Okongo actually on 18. Espanol doing it, says Ruth. Like they said, 111 tries already on the 7th circuit for the Argentines, most of which have come from set pieces. Ricardo James Duarte going to feed the ball in for the South Africans. Argentina now having to defend the set piece, and they have given away the free kick. Now the ball's Hume, and that's a rough pass. Oh, and it's knocked on as well. Picked up by Marcos Maneta, or at least he wanted to. He's going to kick it forward again here. The ball Human will be back to cover. He hasn't slid. More so bounced when he jumped on that ball. Come on the Blitzboks. Make it through in style, says Aline. Maneta, just making sure that the referee wasn't going to penalise him for that one. Ricardo James Duarte on the short side goes off to Taviwe. Sawyers Hawapi, inside ball to Impivis. Almost got his knee bent the wrong way. Now, the ball's Human. They're sitting about 40 metres out from their line. The ball Human breaks through 2 guys going for the ankle tap. Both missing it for Los Pumas. And once again, the ball Human bounces, but he bounces over the try line and does get the lead back for South Africa. Come on, Blitzboks. Make it through in style. Says Aline. It just goes through. Marcos Maneta missed it. Raziano, I think he went a little bit too early there with his ankle tap. If he had just kept running, I think he almost would have caught the ball Human. Don't get me wrong, he's quick. But Graziano's got some very long legs. And try time for South Africa, mean try, says Matthew. So now with 3 minutes remaining, going to give the Argentines the deficit of 4. South Africa with a handy lead here. But now, chance for the World Human to kick this one off. South Africa just too good, says Spider-Mech. Now kicked off. Oh, that's not good. That's only gone about 4 metres off the kickoff, and it now gives Argentina the scrum opportunity on the halfway line. It's about as far from what they would have liked as they could have gotten. They needed that one to go the 10. Now chance here for Argentina with Graziano running it forward well. Like there was maybe a little bit of a high shot there from South Africa. They've also earned the advantage here for Argentina. They're only 10 metres out from the line. Inside ball, the World Human misses the tackle, and Graziano slides in for the try. Ouch, the blocks ahead. Although now they are back behind. 22 points to 21. It's just been a seesaw between these two teams. Oh no, in fact it was Agustin Fraha, was it? Yes, it was. Does manage to score the try. And Sir King Richard the Goat McCaw, who was pushing through the line, or towards the line. But now 24 points to 21. We are still close enough in this game that one try will make the difference. The momentum's been an interesting thing. Argentina started quick. They scored the first and the last try of the first half. They've scored the first and the last at this point of this half. South Africa each time have scored in between. And Argentina goes, says Condor. Now 100 seconds remaining. Not a lot of time left. It's going to be kicked off short, and now Argentina haven't kicked at the 10 metres. There's a lot of pressure on these two sides for this match, both making errors that they normally wouldn't. I'll be a bit disappointed about it too. What we will quickly do is we will go here and we will quickly change that schedule of 9-10 for the Fiji versus USA one. There we go. Argentina now defending the Ricardo James Duarte, trying to push his way forward. Currently down by the 3 points here, South Africa. If they were to score now, they can cause quite the upset. Final minute of this matchup. Back across, looks like one of these South African players has stayed down. I believe that was Ricardo James Duarte over the ball for Marcos Moneta. And he gets it again. The Blitzboks just can't defend. The knees are gone for these old guys. I mean, the old human was the guy who missed that last tackle. How old's he? He wouldn't be any older than 28, would he? The old human, 29, my apologies. Oh, that's still young enough, isn't it? Selvin Davids, I assume, is in the older stage. Probably like 30, 33? Somewhere around there. We'll have a quick look. Selvin Davids. No, Davids, not Davis. We got 31. Yes, many injuries. That's the other side of things to think about, is the fact that maybe in an ideal world, this isn't the lineup that they would have wanted to go with for the last couple of leagues, but there are so many guys out at the moment with different injuries that cause changes to have to be made. It's like Perry Baker. He's about to make a return for the US if they have any more injuries because everyone else is gone. And we have got there guys get stuffed up very young. Says Danielle, and the scrums look good. 3 penalties from it, says Highlanders. Now 25 seconds remaining. Just a little bit of medical attention coming for David Brits there. But the Argentines have got themselves the line out there. Ahead by 3 at the moment. And they have to survive for the next 30 seconds. If South Africa can turn the ball over, they will have that last chance. Argentina have never won a title in Singapore. They've never quite had these shortened type of competitions. Last time we had one, it was South Africa and Cape Town who were able to get the job done. That one's going to be stolen by the Blitzboks. Picked up by Devold Human now. Now, inside ball, but it was an early tackle, so a little bit of luck there for South Africa because Devold Human made the wrong choice in terms of who he wanted to pass to. They're going to be 40 metres out from the line, and South Africa have now called for the scrum. The chance of a draw is extremely unlikely here. It's injuries. You can see how strapped they are, says Stabiso. But the thing is, the guys on the field are the ones who are remaining after the already extensive injury list. You know, like I still don't think Ricardo James Duarte is 100% from after his injury. He's been a little bit shaky throughout his last 2 leagues. But there's no denying when that man's in form, he's one of the best Sevens guys around. But he just hasn't been able to find it yet. And now scrum is fed in. Argentina getting a little foot through, trying to tap it back like a cat. He's trying to tap a mouse. But now passed out wide. Tristan lays towards the sideline. Not driven into touch there. Counter ruck coming from Argentina. But they haven't been able to get the turnover. They're trying to kick it towards the sideline. Picked up by Ricardo James Duarte. That is incredible work from South Africa to keep that ball alive. Devold Human tries to step over the ball now. Oh, I think he might have knocked it on the ground. In fact, he's knocked out. completely here. He looks really unwell. The Volcumen, he has stayed down on the ground. He's been told to get back up, though. They need him to be able to continue. But now looking for the kick in behind. It's a risky play. It sits up in the try for South Africa. Xander Reinders scores it in the corner. It may have been the knock-on from the Volcumen in the breakdown. But it's been play on. And the Blitzboks with that kick in behind. It's a risky play going for a kick-off, a final moment of a game. But they've managed to make it work out for them. David Brits kicked it in behind, and then Xander Reinders picks it up, slams it down. Argentina, they will get themselves the bonus point. Now, I should mention for South Africa here, with that win, unfortunately, they probably still aren't going to qualify first. Because either way, if Great Britain win, oh, that one's going to go short, then they will go through for the semi-finals. But a massive win for South Africa. Definitely a confidence booster after the rough game in the first matchup. But, like they've said, the group is now wide open. What a game from both teams. Awesome game. Says Matthew there. I told you so. South Africa just too good. Says Spider-Mech. And what a... I assume that's supposed to be what a guy from Ruth rather than what a something else. But nonetheless, we will transfer over to our next one. And we are going to be covering Fiji versus USA in only about 2 minutes' time. So we'll see you all for the next.